Bitcoin has finally broke a new all-time high, albeit very slowly, but it is just touching 70K in today's last candle. So this is really showing that this crypto cycle will actually be different because the new all-time highs have happened even before the Bitcoin halving event. And this crypto run-up is really exceeding some of the biggest expectations from some of the biggest bulls in the industry. So with this historic push, I really believe altcoins are about to make a history of their own. And in today's video, I'll show you the exact altcoins I'll be looking to load up during any market dips, especially during this volatile time when Bitcoin first touches its previous all-time high. The market tends to see some short-term volatility and even sharp corrections within the same days. And these are killer buying opportunities. Okay, welcome back to the VirtualBaitN channel. My name is Dennis. I'm a crypto angel investor for the past 5 years, and I have invested in over 100 crypto companies. On this channel, I share my views on market trends and investing strategy to build wealth in crypto. Now, on some of today's top coins list, just want to show you guys our coverage of this Bitcoin all-time high saga for the past week. So I have made two updates this week. The last time that we talked about Bitcoin was when Bitcoin briefly went above 63,000 and was really looking on track to revisit previous all-time high. And this was last week, and I was really getting people prepared by looking at historically what has happened once Bitcoin makes a fresh new all-time high. So you should definitely go watch that video. But TLDR is that historically, every time that Bitcoin has broken above its previous cycle's all-time high, such as, above the 20,000 all-time high in 2020, when it did that, that really kickstarted the entire altcoin season in 2021. Some of the largest gainers that we saw on the last week's video, so we saw Solana, AVAX, Polkadot, MATIC, like Thorchain Rune, some of the most popular altcoins from the last cycle all started to run exponentially after Bitcoin made a new all-time high. And even though some of these altcoins, they're kind of last generation now, Polkadot, for example, you still cannot deny that Polkadot did a solid 20-30x after the bull run really kickstarted. So this is why, although we might not need to look at some of the very old coins, even if you're looking for very new coins, right, that are just starting and, having launched in this last bear market in 2022 and 2023, chances are their real explosive run-ups will really start very soon once Bitcoin actually confirms their break and gets above 70K. So, looking at Bitcoin now, right, let's just briefly cover what has happened this morning. So I have been targeting this buy range in the past 2 days, and I've been covering this in our Discord, and I believe I made a call on our YouTube community tab as well. You should definitely join our Discord if you haven't yet. But TLDR, in my Bitcoin analysis channel on Discord, I've covered that. Okay, I went long at Bitcoin at the 63K range, and as long as this lower range between 60.5K and 63K was holding, technically speaking, this is just short-term volatility, and the higher high was still there. And similarly, this bounce went out pretty well, and I also did a very similar setup for Ethereum, right? I went long on Ethereum during this dip as well. And yeah, you see right here, Ethereum between 3,300 to 3,500. So both of these positions are doing quite well. You see, even though we had a huge wick, you just needed to really pay attention to your risk tolerance here. As long as we know that, okay, this range is a solid support range, controlling your leverage and just making sure that, okay, even if we saw any type of wick, you wouldn't get forced to be liquidated in your position within the same day, then that's all fine, right? Because once you look at really zooming out the longer term time frame, a 4-hour time frame, this looks like a very, very clear bounce from the support range. Daily as well, right? It never even closed within this range. All of the price pattern have The daily candles even closed above this range, and there was only wicks into this range. So these are all really, really solid signs for what's happening now, which is that the volatility period pre all-time high is kind of playing out as we expected. And this morning as well, we have had a little bit of a, what do you even call this? This is like a needle, so to speak. Like it's wicking up and wicking down on both directions. Typical shenanigans when there's volatility. So technically, Bitcoin has already made a new all-time high and broken above that 70K level, right? You see, we have touched 70K, but very quickly, sharp correction below 66. So what this is telling me is that market makers are truly trying to play with people's emotions here and playing with the impatient people and the overly leveraged people, right? So the only reason why this kind of a move can happen is because so many people are looking to long on the breakout with high leverage, so that they have orders set. And once Bitcoin, breaks 68.5, they're going long very heavily, very quickly. And that's why these whipsaws can even happen. So I would just say, even though I fully expect Bitcoin all-time high to come very soon and for altcoin season to start, that doesn't mean you should be playing with leverage, at least not high leverage, right? So everything I'm doing now for Bitcoin and Ethereum, 3.5x is kind of where I'm stopping myself. And for all other altcoins, under 2.5x, ideally under 2x leverage. So that is the maximum I'm playing with right now. And that is actually able to make me avoid having to worry about like these kind of whipsaws, right? So that's the first thing I wanted to give you guys here. Now, assuming Bitcoin is going to either calm down here or start to actually break above 70K, doesn't really matter. I think in either scenarios, the altcoin season will start because, like I said, just look back at our last video. This is the period where Bitcoin dominance will really start to drop once it makes a new all-time high. And this is where the alt season starts. So what are some of the strongest altcoins that I am targeting on this potential dip? I have already covered my top 3 for the month, and you should go check that out on my last video as well. 3 best altcoins to buy in March 2024. But TLDR, these 3 coins are Arweave, MATIC, and RBN. So you should just definitely watch this last video to get the full TLDR for the fundamental reasons as well, not only the price patterns, right? So, but TLDR is that Polygon MATIC has major updates, such as the Polygon AG layer that's releasing this month. They have the Polygon Pole full token rebrand and new tokenomics with a staking layer. That's happening probably 1 to 2 months. And then we are already starting to see a zk season happening with Starknet launching and reaching $20 billion in valuation. We have 4 very similar projects of that caliber, right? zk Sync, Linea, Scroll, and Tyco, all being multiple billion, probably 10 to 20 billion for zk Sync's case. So because these large zk EVM blockchains are launching this year, people are going to want to get exposure to this narrative, right? However, the only one infra coin that is very solid right now in the zk ecosystem is Polygon, right? Polygon is at $11 billion valuation, but keep in mind, all of these supply is already circulating, right? When you compare that to something like Starknet, right? Starknet is $22 billion valuation and only, 1.6 billion of that is circulating. So really, really crazy tokenomics, if you ask me. And Polygon has way better adoption than Starknet today. So there is right away a miss pricing here. And that's why I think even in the short term, Polygon should see a catch-up game very soon. So that is the first altcoin that I have been actually already been buying, which is Polygon. So looking at the charts here, I have called this in our Discord as well. So I was buying anything below this $0.06 range, right, all the way down to around 94 cents. And this has played out pretty well, right? If we get another kind of dip below $0.06, $0.05, that would be another load up zone for me. Okay, so that's on Polygon. Second altcoin that I have already covered on our video is Ribbon Finance, right? Ribbon Finance with the ticker RBN. And this altcoin has had a crazy run up, right? So can I find a date on here? I cannot. But basically, this video took about like 4 days to edit. So, and it was released on March 6th, which is 3 days ago. So essentially, 9 days ago, Ribbon was trading at 51 cents. And today, this coin is trading at $1.61. It's crazy, right? And I'll just give you guys the like TLDR here, which is that Ribbon, we even covered this in our January Altcoin Gem video as well. You should go check that out. And for all the people that got in at those levels below 40 cents, you guys are like very, very happy because so basically Ribbon is rebranding to this new platform called AEVO, which is a decentralized exchange. It's a perpetual decentralized exchange that you can trade with leverage, with very advanced tools, just like any other SEX. And what's really cool about them is that their volume has been exploding for the past month. And this has already put them at the top 3 decentralized exchanges and perpetual exchanges. So then I compared it to some of their competitors, such as DYDX and Apex, which were valued at $3.6 billion and $2 billion FDV. And at that time, when we covered AEVO, this was valued at 700 million. So this was a clear undervaluation. And aside from that, there was also the Ribbon token new TGE, the new token generation event, right? So this was very interesting because I was looking at how they designed this, and it really seemed like there was going to be a new token launch, not just a kind of migration and token ticker change. Instead, this was going to be a major event because they put a lot of effort into this. And guess what? Earlier this week, we got the full review on this. So AEVO, their new token is doing Binance Launch Pool. So this is actually crazy. Like I did not expect this at all. I did say in our Altcoin Gem video, I was looking at their exchange listings, and mostly the listings for Ribbon was on decentralized exchange, and then a little bit of liquidity on Coinbase and Gate. So really, I thought, okay, if this coin makes a new TGE, they could have some strong exchanges to target. And I said, maybe eventually they go on Binance. But this is crazy. They actually have their token launch happening on Binance. And this is already starting to farm right now and will continue to farm until March 13th before they get their listing on Binance. So this triggered a lot of the pump that we saw in the past 2 days, right? So here you see, where's Ribbon? This is the chart of Ribbon, and this was our previous entry that we wanted. I posted this in our Discord as well. So basically, back in January, right, around this range was when we first covered it, and then we covered it again right around here. And then this candle was when the Binance launch pool was revealed. I did not expect this at all, to be honest. And I will say that it is getting a pretty good valuation level now. So when you look at Ribbon, now the valuation is at 1.7 billion. So is it undervalued severely now? Depends, right? We're going to have to look at the March trading volume for AEVO, the exchange. So if they can maintain their February volume of 20 billion, then that puts them around the similar caliber as DYDX. So DYDX is still at, I believe, 3.5, maybe 4 billion. Yeah, so DYDX is still at 4 billion FDV. So that means Ribbon could see maybe another 2x growth, especially post the new token launch and post Binance listing, when the token actually becomes AEVO. But that highly depends on the trading volume of this exchange. So we really have to look into this, and that's why I have bought a lot of Ribbon. I am not taking profit just yet, but once they get on Binance, I'm going to continue following how their exchange product is actually doing in terms of volume, and I'll keep you guys updated on whether this coin is still undervalued. For now, it kind of still is. I could see it reaching potentially 3 billion after Binance listing, but after that, it will be a fair valuation afterwards. Okay, so that's Ribbon. The last altcoin we covered on our last video was Arweave, right? So this was all because of Arweave's major new product release called AO the Computer. TLDR, right? AO the Computer is a brand new hyperscalable computing layer, decentralized computing layer, very similar to the vision of ICP and Filecoin, but it is actually truly next gen because it supports any type of virtual machine, any programming language, anything you can run on this platform. Versus on Filecoin and ICP, you're kind of tied into their ecosystem. Now, this was actually still on testnet, and based on how hyped this launch was, with their social mentions and traffic completely exploding with price, I really was still seeing that Arweave was undervalued between that like $26 to $30 range, right? So this is what we covered on the charts as well. When Arweave was 30, essentially I have been accumulating Arweave between $26 to $30. And you can go watch our previous video for this. Today, Arweave just went above 40. So yeah, you see, I even have my kind of accumulation target here at 26. Just went up to touch 41. So I still think there is a ton of potential for Arweave in the next 2 to 3 months, especially leading up to the mainnet launch of this AO the Computer. And when we see the new tokenomics of Arweave, whether it will be used within AO, whether there's a new token migration, whether it's a merge, whatever it may be, there's still a lot of updates to come, because remember, this is still in testnet, right? So that's on Arweave. This is one coin that I'm still holding big bag of in my portfolio. And even though this run up has been so quick, right, in the month of February, going from $8 to 40, you have to really zoom out here, because including myself, a lot of people have capitulated on Arweave in 2023 because they have not published anything, any updates, any roadmaps for 2 years. They did this completely in stealth and then finally released this in February. So this is why Arweave, when you look at its actual valuation today, 2.5 billion, it's not that high yet. Even after a, 5x return, even just in February alone, it's still only at 2.5 billion. When you compare that to its largest competitors, ICP is at 7.5 billion, right? We have Filecoin at 21 billion, right? So that's why I really think Arweave is not overvalued yet. And I'm targeting at least a new all-time high leading up to the AO, the computer on mainnet launch. So that's at $75 to $80 target. Okay, so that's Arweave. And now let me get into some of the newer altcoins that I'm targeting and that we haven't covered yet. So this month, there is a major shift in AI. So a huge interest wave is coming back to crypto and AI cross-section and AI crypto projects. So this is all fueled by the upcoming event of NVIDIA GTC, right? Which is their largest conference annually that's happening on March 17th and lasts until March 21st. So you see here, it not only includes like NVIDIA related stuff, but also a whole AI conference and expo. So usually what happens is when we saw the OpenAI product release with Sora and OpenAI's developer conference, things like WorldCoin and Render and a lot of these other related AI coins, they saw a huge popularity rise, right? What's even more important for NVIDIA's conference is that NVIDIA's conference is not only targeted towards AI, but also you got to remember NVIDIA is the biggest GPU provider and physical device provider in the world, right? For hardware, for all the hardware requirements for AI training and AI inference. So This is why this conference could be even bigger for not only AI, but for the DePin narrative, right? Because remember, what is DePin? DePin stands for Decentralized Physical Infrastructure, which is essentially bringing together a decentralized network of people's computers, whether that's graphics cards or computing power, pulling them together in order to process larger tasks and give them rewards. In most cases, these are AI tasks. So this is why I think the NVIDIA GTC conference will have a bigger effect to the world of AI cryptos, even more than the OpenAI conference. So with that out of the way, what are some of the top altcoins to target in this next 2-week period leading up to NVIDIA GTC? The first one you might not even expect, and you probably don't even think it's an AI coin, and that is Near Protocol. So Near Protocol has had a huge interest wave in this past month, going from $3 all the way to $6 within 2-week period. Why is this happening? You guys might only think that Near is a alternative layer 1, right? However, the founder of Near, who is Ilya Black Dragon, I forgot his last name, but Ilya, the founder of Near, is actually directly presenting in a transforming AI panel at NVIDIA GTC alongside some of the biggest innovators in AI and the CEO of NVIDIA, Jensen Huang himself. Now, as far as I see, this is the only crypto project that is presenting at NVIDIA GTC. Now, why is this so special? How are they getting this special treatment? That is all because of this list of researchers here on this panel. So this panel is called Transforming AI, not just for the sake of sounding cool. Instead, there is a huge paper that was released back in 2017 called Attention is All You Need. And this research paper, I can probably find it here, is the paper that first proposed the transformer, which is, I'm not an expert on this, but it is considered the founding document for modern artificial intelligence, as transformers became the main architecture of large language models. So this is a huge piece of paper, that a huge piece of research called Attention is All You Need. And look at this. On this actual paper, there are 8 authors here, co-authors. Ilya Polushkin is a co-author on here, and he is the founder of Near Protocol. So this is why I dug a little bit deeper and actually found out that Near Protocol, before they pivoted to a blockchain project in, I believe, like 2018, 2019, they were actually deeply focused on AI. They were an AI company first. And this makes so much sense now. So this is why the conference here, especially this panel, is not to be overlooked, because this is one of the biggest panels in the entire AI space. And the fact that Ilya is going to be presenting here and presenting something is very significant. So this is why, a lot of people are aping into Near Protocol now and saying, okay, maybe there's some sort of at least like partnership, if not like roadmap update for Near Protocol to be taking a more heavier like AI approach, maybe integrating certain AI aspects to their chain, dedicating something, AI application related as a ecosystem for their chain. I don't know. Obviously, none of that would be leaked prior to the event. But all in all, like, does that really matter? What will actually get announced? I don't think so either, right? Because we are still 11 days away from the conference. So the sheer like anticipation for this to happen should continue to drive up interest for Near Protocol. And because like the connection here is very real, right? You cannot find any other layer 1, layer 2, whatever it is, crypto blockchain project with a founder that is this deeply entrenched in the world of AI research and actually presenting alongside this huge panel. So that's why I have been targeting Near Protocol as one of the coins that I'm buying on this dip. And in fact, this was our signal that I published in Discord yesterday. So basically, I've been targeting, really hoping for Near to come back down into this range between $4 to $4.50. That would be an ideal breakout entry range, because you see this previous resistance here at $4.50 was now broken. And now it's potentially coming down to a breakout retest pattern, turning into support. But if this doesn't happen, I'm still fine, because I have started to enter as of this morning. So anything below like $5.50 towards $4.50, this is the entry range for me for Near protocol. And at least I see this continuing to run up going into NVIDIA GTC in 2 weeks. So whether the if they don't announce anything significant, I will look to take profit around the time of GTC. But if they do announce anything major, then this can even become bigger. Okay, so that's Near protocol. And then back to the point of NVIDIA GTC and how NVIDIA is the biggest GPU provider in the world, right? GPU hardware company in the world. What are some of the ways to gain exposure to DePin, right? Obviously, the two leading projects everyone already knows, Render Network and Akash, right? These are the two biggest GPU provider, decentralized GPU providers in the world. And you see here, Akash is at $2.3 billion fully diluted valuation. Honestly, just continue to chug along, making new all-time highs. Render, similarly, $5.6 billion valuation. Can you still get in these? Sure. I would say, like, if you really want DePin exposure, you can use these. They probably will still have some upside until GTC actually happens, but I highly doubt that these players will have like huge upside from this point, or will they announce anything significant during GTC? I think that's unlikely, but just wanted to mention them. So, okay, so that's why, for the sake of, if you want DePin exposure, I would really like to target smaller cap altcoins or upcoming altcoins. So one very interesting DePin protocol that I don't see anyone covering, but it is actually still very low cap, but seeing a huge adoption wave, is Gamercoin. So Gamercoin is their coin's name, but the actual company of this is called GamerHash. So this is again, decentralized computing network focused on GPUs. And what they do very differently is their model is not targeting like miners or data centers, GPU providers, but rather gaming GPUs, right? So this is more retail targeted, and where if you are already running a gaming computer and it's a powerful PC with a powerful graphics card, you can pull that all together and essentially do the same thing, right? Share that computing power and start to earn tokens. And what's really cool about them is that their supply and demand mechanics are all worked out, right? Some of the biggest providers that they deal with, Netflix, Spotify, T-Mobile, PaySafeCard, Steam, etc. So there's a lot that they are already integrated with. And I believe they are potentially announcing something even bigger in the next month or so. I'm not fully sure what that will be, but I have heard that they are really just gobbling up a lot of these demand side for pushing their existing retail-focused GPU power to something more meaningful. So Gamercoin, right? This is one that I'm targeting. And you see, even though this has had a major run-up with DePin, $82 million FDV. Honestly, like, comparatively, like, what is the big difference between these things, right? Other than the fact that of branding and of actual number of machines that they have adopted on the network. So we're going to do a deep dive on the whole DePin narrative, and I'll make sure to bring the stats for this the next time we cover it. Okay, so that's honestly the only DePin coin that I'm seeing right now that is worth having exposure to. Now, there are a handful of upcoming DePin projects that are very, very established. So first one is called Aethir. So Aethir is, again, decentralized cloud infrastructure for gaming and AI. But what's really cool about them is their demand side. They are part of NVIDIA's Inception program. And not only this, they are actually partnered with some of the biggest consumers of cloud GPU. So even though a lot of networks have a huge inventory of GPU machines under their network, if nobody is using them, that defeats the whole purpose. What Aethir really shines is in their demand side. So they have enterprises, right, like cloud gaming partners all lined up. And you'll see with some of the updates that I dug up from their Discord and from their insider community, that this is, once it comes out of the market, this is going to be potentially the biggest DePin network. I wouldn't even be surprised if this eventually overtakes at least Akash, if not Render. Because Akash and Render, although they are cool and they have been in the market for very long, what they really struggle with is that they have a huge supply of GPUs, but their demand isn't fully there because they only target mainly graphics work and AI. And that is some very narrow areas. And unless you have a direct partnership with OpenAI, it's very difficult to consume all of their GPUs. On Aethir, however, this is not a problem. So I'll show you guys later on in our full DePin deep dive. Another of such DePin network is GPU.net. This is a project that I've covered many times on the channel. This is one of our portfolio companies as well at the VC fund I work at. In fact, I helped them with this entire branding initiative, their points system, their launch campaign, etc. Having advised them for over a year at this point, they are finally about to launch as well. So make sure to check out GPU.net. So both Aethir and GPU.net will be launching their node sales sometime this month. These will be very similar to the Zai node sales that happened on, I believe, in November, December-ish, before they had their token listing. So essentially what happens is you buy the nodes and you become a part of the validator network on the blockchain, and you earn their token rewards gradually. So this is a way to get involved early. And not only this, but you can actually contribute to the network and earn not only their tokens, but also network fees as well. Okay, so these are the two DePin projects that I am actually watching upcoming. And then last sector of AI going into NVIDIA GTC is with decentralized computing. So again, you have to separate the narratives within crypto AI. So there's the DePin providers, which focus on hardware, which focus on getting the GPUs ready in order to serve AI. And there is the other side, which is building entirely blockchain infra that is decentralized, but you are able to run AI models on top. And you can use those AI models in inference to create very similar applications to ChatGPT, etc. So obviously the most popular example is Bittensor, right? And of course, you can get exposure to this sector using Bittensor. I'm not going to say too much about this. Everyone already knows about this coin. This isn't going to do another, not even 10x. I think that's kind of, will be very, very highly valued already. But is it topped out here? I don't necessarily think so. As long as AI continues to gain popularity in this cycle, this is a good way to gain exposure to this overall trend. However, if you're looking for truly outsized returns, right, asymmetric returns, I would look at new computing networks that support AI, that are targeted at AI. So we have covered this briefly before in our 2024 portfolio video. There is a subsector of this type of decentralized blockchain for AI that is actually very meaningful. And that's with zk machine learning, right? Or short for zkML. So anytime that you see a very established project raising a lot of money and potentially launching mainnet very soon with a testnet that you can already try, that is doing zkML, make sure to pay attention. So TLDR is that using zkML, you can do two things that traditional machine learning models and apps that AI apps you use online cannot accomplish. Number one is that by incorporating ZK, your data never flows out of your input, right? It's never given away to OpenAI or Google or Microsoft. Instead, zero knowledge protects you. And secondly, using ZK, you can do what's called verified computing. So when you talk with ChatGPT today on a decentralized AI network or centralized AI network, on ChatGPT, on Midjourney, etc., you're trusting that company is doing the right thing. You're trusting that company is taking your input and actually feeding it into the AI model that you wanted it, and then giving you the correct results. But this is never verifiable, right? Whether like ChatGPT may actually sometimes throw you a jab and say, okay, like we're going to throw you something different. And you cannot ever know, because AI by design is a black box. Now, using ZK and using verified computing, you can actually change this and say, okay, here is my input. Here is the machine learning model I would like my input to be fed into. And once you get the results back, you can actually use that to verify using zero knowledge proofs. And to verify that, okay, with my input, with this potential model, and with this result, do they all match? And if they match, then you know, okay, I have actually received the real results that this model fed me without being tampered with. So this is the biggest, most practical way that blockchain and ZK technology can be used for AI. And this is why, this subsector of AI cryptos is super interesting to me. So a few projects that I have been heavily watching in the world of zkML. Inference Labs, number one. We have covered this in our previous portfolio video as well. Modulus, another very powerful project doing AI on chain, and especially incorporating ZK. And you see they have some huge partners here already, from Celestia, from WorldCoin, from Ethereum Foundation, 1KX, etc. Another newer project, but quickly gaining hype, is Jensen, right? Decentralized global compute network, verifiable compute, right? So whenever you see a platform that sets decentralized compute and is verified compute using ZK, that is truly the intersection that makes sense. Okay, so make sure to pay attention to these projects again, because this is such a practical use case. It takes time to develop, and that's why I think this sector of AI cryptos will probably become hyped towards the later stages of this year. So that's why pay attention to this, but you probably won't see any of these tokens launch within the next quarter yet. It'll probably be towards the end of the year. But once these do come to market, this is going to be a big focus of mine. And I truly believe these are where the real opportunities are, and not on something that like Bittensor that everyone already knows. And to be fair, Bittensor doesn't even do ZK. It is decentralized compute, but it is not like ZK compute. So that is already kind of, I wouldn't even say last generation, but truly next gen. Bittensor is not there yet. Okay, so that's the last part of AI crypto altcoins I wanted to cover. And yeah, that's it. That's everything all the altcoins I wanted to cover for today. I don't have much time left here, so we're gonna skip Q&A today. So here. Okay, so before I go, two things you should definitely follow me on. So number one, make sure to follow me on Twitter at virtualbacon0x. In fact, this is where I drop all of my quickest alpha before I make them into these in-depth videos. Day-to-day alpha, whenever I'm researching projects, I have been covering the Near Protocol saga as well on Twitter even before this whole hype wave started, right? Digging into the history of Near Protocol's founder and how deep he was at Google as an AI researcher. So if you want those quick alpha, make sure to follow me on Twitter. And Also, make sure to join our Discord with the link in my bio, or go to discord.gg/virtualbacon. This is where I drop our real trade setups, altcoin alerts, alpha alerts as well when it comes to new projects launching, new narratives, new airdrops, new NFT mints, etc. You can find all of that with the link in the description on our Discord. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys for joining, and hope you liked the video and found this helpful. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and share the video with a friend, and I will see you on the next video and the next live stream.